Hello and welcome to the June edition of Isuzu News. I'm Stuart Taft and it's great to be back bringing you all the news from the IAL head office and around the dealer network. After a busy and successful Brisbane Truck Show, the entire Isuzu organisation are keeping their noses to the grindstone in the lead up to the end of the financial year. In this edition of Isuzu News, we'll hear from Phil Taylor, welcoming IAL's new Managing Director and CEO. We'll also get a recap on the 2017 Brisbane Truck Show from Andrew Harbison, and cross to Cairns to hear from Travis Nation, Ireland Isuzu superstar parts manager, who will share some secrets of his success selling oil pods and the lights and mirrors range. Finally, we'll meet the man who's helping Isuzu stay at the cutting edge of fleet management offerings with a staff profile of telematics business manager Grant Cooper. There's plenty to get stuck into, but first, let's take a moment to review the latest sales figures. Well, it's a positive story 5 months into 2017, and the overall market performance, May year to date, shows a total increase of 8% on this time last year. Against this backdrop, we've increased our volume by 7% for 3,239 units at the end of May. Our share stands at 30.4%, line ball with our 2016 performance, and we sold 803 units in May for 29.5% monthly share. Looking at our two key competitors, Hino have also increased volume, up 7% year to date, with market share roughly equivalent to their 2016 performance at just over 16%. Fuso, meanwhile, have dropped volume and share despite putting a lot of dollars behind a marketing campaign in recent months. In the light market, our volume is up a significant 13% year to date, and our share has also enjoyed a lift to 41.6%. The light market overall is up 7% year to date, so we are well ahead of this with our volume gain. Our sales in Group 4 have really set things alight here, and we are up 55% in this group year to date. In fact, we've enjoyed over 50% share of this group for each month of 2017 so far, so well done. In other light segment news, Hino secured a small volume increase, but have lost share, and Fuso have recorded similar moves. In the medium segment, overall sales have been flat with market performance around what it was this time last year. Our share is close to the highs of 2016, and with the F-Series sales campaign that we've just launched, we'll see additional volume and growth here over the next few months. Hino have improved both share and volume, with sales up 15% on 2016 numbers and share sitting at 24.6%. Fuso, meanwhile, are down on both fronts. In the heavy market, our volume is up on 2016 numbers by 6%, but share down slightly. The overall heavy segment is up 17% year to date, which explains our slight share drop. Sales in Group 8B continue to perform strongly, and we are up some 20% in volume on our 2016 figures here. There was a lot of interest in both the CXY tipper and the FYJ agitator at the Brisbane show, so we're confident that we'll continue to see good numbers here. We're almost at the halfway point for 2017, and as the figures demonstrate, the push behind the ready-to-work models has been paying dividends in the light truck segment and is a key focus for Isuzu. Our campaign continues to be a top priority and has continued to pick up pace after the Milwaukee Service Pack giveaway, which received over 25,000 entries and saw one very happy South Australian tradie walk away with the $80,000 prize. We backed up this with a competition to give away a $1,000 Milwaukee toolkit every day of the Brisbane Truck Show that generated a lot of interest. We're now powering into the next phase, with the biggest ad campaign in the history of Isuzu Australia, centering around brand ambassador Shane Jacobson and the benefits of the ready-to-work range. The campaign has broad coverage with TVCs on Metro and regional free-to-air TV, pay TV, spots on breakfast and drive time radio, plus outdoor advertising in East Coast capitals and print and online adverts. It's a massive push, and Jacobson's larrikin humour and the tight creative anchors the campaign. The TVCs that have been recently released have a very clever take on the key features of the range, and to really see it succeed, we're calling on all dealerships to put up your point of sale kits and help drive the message home. The concept behind the ready-to-work range means customers will expect to be able to drive their new truck away almost immediately, so please make sure you have sufficient stock of all models. To further support the ready-to-work push, We've produced a series of walk-around videos highlighting the capabilities of the van pack, tri-tipper and service pack range. These are an excellent resource for customers looking to get acquainted with these models and are available on our YouTube channel now. Looking at our other customer communications, we've given the hard copy Truck Power magazine a slick new look that's sure to hit the mark as it lands in customer mailboxes and your dealerships. We've moved to a hybrid of monthly email versions and a twice yearly hard copy edition, and the first of the print versions is a cracker with the right mix of new model articles, news, key advice and industry updates, and of course, the all-important customer profiles. We also recently launched the Content Hub on the Isuzu website. This is a one-stop shop for customers looking to get up to date with Isuzu news, videos, the highly popular and valuable blogs, plus industry insights and more. To get to the Content Hub and to read the online versions of Truck Power, simply click on the news tab of isuzu.com.au. Now it's over to Phil Taylor with a brief profile of our new Managing Director and CEO, Ms. Hiroko Yaguchi.
Yaguchi-san formally started with IAL on the 1st of June, but she is a known commodity to us because she's been dealing with IAL for quite some time now. Other previous international experience that she's had included other very big markets like the US, UK, Europe, Russia and Israel, so very well equipped for our market. Yaguchi-san was known to some of our dealers already because she did present to us at the February dealer meeting in Sydney. She also attended the Brisbane Truck Show, so she's already had an introduction to some of our bigger customers and other dealers that visited the truck show in Brisbane. More recently, we visited our Tier 1 dealers, and so Brisbane during the truck show, but we've more recently visited all the other Tier 1 dealers in Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne and in Sydney and introduced her formally to those dealers. The May year-to-date sales results for IAL have been very good, so Yaguchi-san's certainly joining us at the right time because the total market is up 8% year-to-date, with light-duty up 7%. And the light-duty figures being up 7% is remarkable given that in 2016 the light-duty market was up 12% and the year before is a total of 16%. So that light-duty market is certainly leading the total market in Australia. The medium-duty market is about the same as it was last year, but the standout so far is the heavy-duty market, which has really started to push on. The heavy-duty guys are starting to deliver lots of trucks in that area, and we are as well with our 8x4s, and Giga started to go well for us as well. The Ready to Work campaign's going, I believe, very, very well for us. So given this is only the second time in our history that we've been on free-to-air TV, the results have been very, very good so far. The dealers have plenty of stock, and certainly Shane Jacobson, who's become our brand ambassador. I can't think of a better guy to be out front for us on the TV, convincing people to buy these ready-to-work trucks. But being ready to work is certainly a significant part of our success there because the dealers can deliver them before the end of June, and we're doing very well.
Thanks, Phil. The year-to-date progress sounds really promising, and we look forward to seeing this build as we all push through into the second half of the year. Now let's cross to Andrew Harbison to tell us more about Isuzu's presence at the 2017 Brisbane Truck Show and some of the new ways Isuzu is looking to nab those all-important after-sales opportunities.
The truck show's falling at a really exciting time for us. We're right smack bang in the middle of our major marketing campaign, so we've brought that theming across our truck show. We've got plenty of paraphernalia with Shane Jacobson and the marketing material there. So the focus really is on the Ready to Work campaign that we're running at the moment. So exciting time, there's lots of people coming through. The opportunity for us is fantastic. We've got our trade pack there, which is now coming on for 14 years old since it was first developed in 2003. That's here featuring prominently on the stand. But we've also added a couple of new models here. We've got our Milwaukee service pack, which is right smack bang in the middle of the stand and drawing a lot of attention for us. We're launching our NLR 55-150 three-way tipper, the tri-tipper, which is a really exciting innovation for us, and we're already receiving some fantastic response to that. We also have our new van pack based on the NNR model. So we've got lots of new models here, and it's just really reinforcing that opportunity that the Ready to Work range gives us. Well, as you can see, we've got a wonderful range of trucks. But the truck show is so much more than just the trucks themselves. The opportunity to talk about our service agreements. We've got a prominent display of Isuzu telematics, which is the way forward in our industry. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to promote and talk to our customers about the total solution that we can offer to them.
Thanks for that, Andrew. It looks like all of Isuzu's work for the Brisbane Truck Show really paid off. Now we'll link to North Queensland to hear from Ireland Isuzu parts manager Travis Nation, who I spoke to earlier, as he shares some of his top tips for selling oil and Isuzu's new lighting and mirror range. Travis, thanks for being here with us.
No worries, sure.
Now we've heard that in 2016 you were very successful at selling the next gen 10W40 oil pods, even beating some of the Isuzu metropolitan dealers. How many oil pods did you sell last year, and what do you think have been some of the keys to achieving this?
We sold 28 units to date to the trade. So we've got strong field representation, a full-time rep that goes out and focuses on the Isuzu brand. We've also worked closely with James Chalice, the Fuchs rep. He's came up and done some technical training with our staff, and he's also gone and visited some of our customers, which has been great. We also have the flyers and we push dollars per litre as well, which seems to go really well with the trade guys. They understand that rather than talking about 1,000 litre pod, they understand the dollars per litre because that's how they charge it out to their customers. So every quarter we produce a brochure focusing on the oil. Most of the time we push the pods, sometimes the 205s, and again we break it down to dollars per litre, hand that out, and we often offer another product or an incentive just to add a point of difference for that oil.
Are there any specific market segments you've been targeting?
When we market our oil, we predominantly focus on the truck workshops. However, we have focused on the automotive workshops and also found that there's some rural segments that utilise the oil as well. We've got a lot of cane farms up here and also banana plantations, and those guys use a lot of oil, so we've put it out to them guys as well.
Now, what advice would you give to other dealers to help them boost their oil pod sales?
I would recommend creating a strong marketing plan at the start of each year. Having strong representation on the field, I think, is very important. Also, setting some targets that are quite aggressive and pushing and reviewing those monthly and weekly to make sure that we're on track or exceeding those targets.
Well, it's certainly working. Have you found that applying a similar approach to other areas of the parts business has also been successful?
So the way we market our oil is very similar to how we market all our other products. With the business plan, the strong representation, creating flyers. We also develop incentives based around specific products. We make sure that we set our targets on each goals. We have other franchises here, and we also sell tyres and chemicals to the trade. So I think from a simplistic point of view, a part is a part, whether it's an oil, a chemical or a tyre. So we treat them all the same way. It's just having a focus on all the lines and making sure we're in front of the customer all the time.
And before you go, Travis, we'd also love to hear about the success your team has had with selling the new lighting and mirror range that was released last year. How have you approached selling these new products?
Here at Ireland, we were a little bit slow to take up the new lighting and mirror range, but once we found out about it and met Michael, the Vexel rep, we really saw the benefit in pushing that through to the trade. Products are a really good quality, they've got a really good backup, and their pricing is better than anything else we've seen. So we've been able to get out there again. We got Michael up, the rep, to give us some technical training and also go out and visit some of the bigger customers. From there, we've set up a display in the showroom, which just reminds all the trade customers as they walk in about our range. And it's just taken off. We're doing really well, and it's growing and growing.
Thanks for that, Travis. There's a lot of food for thought there, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share your wisdom. To cap off this edition of Isuzu News, let's hear from new IAL Telematics Business Manager Grant Cooper.
Loving it so far. It's a pleasure coming to work. It's also fantastic to be able to really sink my teeth into a particular subject matter, previously coming from a very broad base, subject matter that we're obviously talking about, telematics and the connected truck. So I've come from actually two different careers. I started out in architecture for a good part of a decade, that being a creative endeavour. There's the design thinking approach that I've pulled through from that, and particularly on the management side of complex issues. More recently, I've been in management consulting, which is essentially a problem solver for hire. So you get abruptly thrown into a business, and you get 6 to 8 weeks to understand their needs, form recommendations on how the business should be positioning itself to grow profitable revenue in the future. And how that correlates to where I am now, I see my role as really no different, taking the strengths of both of those roles into telematics and understanding, one, the business at its core, where we need to position it in the future, and bringing everybody with me on that journey. Day-to-day as a telematics business manager at Isuzu really consists of the operations side in one bucket and planning for the future in the other. On the operations side, or the business as usual, it's keeping customers happy, making sure we're meeting their requirements in line with the product. And then on the future or forward-looking side, we want to know where we can position Isuzu in the next 3 to 5 years to be a market leader in this space. So there's a big piece around there, understanding where the opportunity lies, how we need to position the product to be market leading, and then getting the mechanisms within our organisation to actually back that up and execute. Challenges and strategies to deal with those. First of all is the complexity that sits around our customer base and around our product line and pairing those up. Case and example, if we look at 2016 sales, we've got approximately 8,500 trucks. There's 200 odd different models that are servicing those sales across 3 core product ranges of light, medium and heavy duty. Now that only just starts to scratch the surface because each of those customers comes from a different industry sector and has very different requirements. The challenge for us going forward with telematics is that our proposition resonates for a fleet of 5 vehicles and a fleet of 500 vehicles to 5,000 vehicles, and that'll be the biggest challenge that I'm looking to tackle. So particularly in the case of Isuzu's telematics system, there's really 2 key areas. We have a fantastic user interface, so significant work has gone in from the fleet manager perspective to be able to look into the portal and easily navigate and get the information that they need. And secondly, as an OEM, we have proprietary access to systems in the vehicle that other third-party manufacturers of telematics systems do not, and that's seen as a key competitive advantage of ours.
Thanks, Grant, and thank you for tuning in to Isuzu News. I'm Shura Taft, and it's been my pleasure to take you through just some of the exciting developments here at IAL. We'll see you again next month, and in the meantime, good truck selling.